Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Miss Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. We are here to go over the Housewives of Miami. This episode is titled Pretty Petty People, Season 7, Episode 9. James is still out. He'll be back kind of, sort of on YouTube, mostly on his channel. The link to his channel is in the description of this video as always. And we continue to wish him well in his healing. I'm also in school, so I apologize for being a little late with the live, but better late than never, right? For anybody who has music reactions, because I know sometimes the artists drop into these lives, I will also be getting those music reactions out today. So I'm just behind, but we gonna catch up because that's what thugs do, right? Thug life. Let's get into the episode. So the episode was strange. Adriana, she's a little annoying sometimes, but then at the same time, I'm starting to like Adriana a lot. Didn't care for her previously, prior to this season, but this season I'm starting to like her. Why the hell is this woman trying to find another dog that her dog can sleep with so that her dog can lose his virginity before she clips his balls? I just I am not this rich. And maybe why? I just don't understand why that's important to her. But Adriana does want to apologize to Marisol because she went in on Marisol and her bony, knobby, ashy knees. She went in on Marisol. So she did need to apologize because she was just doing too much. And she was also drunk. It was funny as hell. So, what can you do? But Marisol is annoyed. She says that she was body shamed by Adriana. And then she likes to remind everybody that Adriana is older than her. But she looked better, boo. I'm just saying. Julia basically throws Adriana to the mud, which is why Adriana is side-eyeing Julia now. And I see why Adriana in real time today has been publicly siding with Gertie. Like, Julia's a friend of nobody. Julia's one of them pick-me hoes. Like, she really is. I can't. Julia will do whatever to be relevant, including betraying her own kids, which I'll explain later when we talk. But I just cannot stand people like Julia. I can't. She can go back to wherever she came from. Off of my screen, please. But Marisol wants to do something nice for Alexia again. I don't understand why everybody's kissing Alexia's ass. Alexia is a grown-ass woman. She's old as hell. Why does she need this much support from people when she just keeps running back to the person that causes her to need the support? Alexia is the friend that you don't waste that energy on. You woo woo woo. You Sinclair James her ass to shut her up. Because I don't feel sorry for Alexia. She's choosing to go back to this. And then she's trying to blame it on narcissism. Yes, narcissists are difficult, but they don't have control over you. You can walk the fuck away. So I'm irritated with Alexia. I'm irritated with Marisol. It's strange. Like, are y'all sleeping together? What's good? Y'all are weird. But they call Alexia and invite her to Spain. She says yes, but she tells them that they need to have her back by November the 18th because Todd's birthday is the next day on November the 19th. And I'm like, okay, that explains it. He's a Scorpio. It's never going to get better, Alexia. I'm so sorry. Male Scorpios are awful. They are awful. Absolutely awful. So, okay, that makes sense. But it's nice they're doing something for their friend, but it's also weird to me. It's just a little extra. Now we get to see a scene with Gertie. She calls Dr. Jackie, who is a cast member on Married to Medicine, for those who do not know. And pretty much, I just loved how Dr. Jackie uplifted Gertie. Gertie is going through a lot with dealing with cancer that many of us cannot even pretend to understand or have empathy for because we just don't get it. I commend Gertie for talking about that, but I like how Gertie doesn't use that as an excuse with the group when she's going back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, I respect her. I wish that they would hire another housewife that could be like a true ally for Gertie. Kiki is not it. Kiki is just there because Bravo wants to have somebody of color. In my opinion, they could replace Kiki with somebody else. She's entirely useless, is what I will say. But I did like how Dr. Jackie uplifted Gertie, and I appreciated that friendship. I did. I like that. Now, Martina, Julia, Stephanie, and Masood, they all meet to have dinner. And I'm here for Stephanie. Stephanie at times can do stuff that irks me. And I know some of the audience was sensitive as hell, probably the Karens in the audience or the colorless people of the audience, because Stephanie posted something like, sweeties, are you guys mad that I'm in first chair? Like, she did get first chair at the reunion when they revealed the reunion chart. I'm not surprised. She came in new. She came in with wealth. She came in helping to fund a trip. She came in beefing and willing to start some shit with Alexia, who everybody likes to kiss the asses. She somehow got along with Larsa, and she will tell you how it is, the same way she looked at Martina and said, how old are you going to be when these boys turn 20? Because Martina's old as hell, 67, 68. When those boys turn 20, she'll be damn near 90. If she's fucking still alive. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Hell. Hi, DM Rocks. Good morning. I hope you're having a good morning or afternoon if you are on the East Coast. DM Rock says, hey, did you see on Instagram the winning team, Gertie, Adriana, and Lisa were celebrating after filming the reunion? Of course they were. I saw, and I'm here for it. Gertie has been, she just posted something else too, proving like the shit that they say is bullshit. And I'm here for it. Gertie's doing what you're supposed to do, because what they want Gertie to do is throw water the way that Julia did. But see, Black people can't always act that way because we will be held to a higher standard than others, it seems, in those situations. So I'm happy that Gertie is posting receipts and letting them have it, because that's what the reunion is for, Julia. Keep your hands to yourself, bitch, and wait till the reunion to prove a point. But I'm glad. I am glad, DM Rocks. Good morning. Welcome in. Now, I was cracking up when Stephanie made the comment about Masood, or not Masood, about Martina being 88 when them kids is 20. Right, I'm here for the trio too. Now, Stephanie mentions her sister issues, which she's been very open about with everybody. But Stephanie mentioning her sister issues caused Julia to expose that she's been having some troubles in her family as well with her older daughters. So for those who do not know, are new to Housewives of Miami, Julia does have children that she obviously did not have with Martina. They are older, and I believe it's 2 girls. These 2 daughters are upset. Now, Julia and Martina have adopted 2 young Black children. While she's throwing water at people, she better get it right. But they have adopted 2 young boys. And what's interesting is that it seems like the daughters are upset with Julia, and they're not really speaking or getting along right now, because Julia did not tell them that she had plans to expand the family, which they have a right to be upset about. Those are their siblings. And it kind of, like, if I were in the shoes of Julia's daughters, it looks like, okay, you got with this old ass lady and now you've made your own family. What about us? Like, why wouldn't you tell them that they have new siblings? So I'm actually on the side of Julia's kids. And what was also interesting is Martina looked nervous, but like she had to catch herself and remember that the camera was there. And like she wanted to tell Julia, like, don't talk about this publicly. Like, Martina to me is toxic, like in so many ways. Martina gives me so many red flags. I've never really cared for Martina, to be honest. Great at tennis, but that's it. You know, so I don't know. It's a weird dynamic. I find that to be extremely strange. I find that to be strange because Julia, you over here attacking Gertie, talking about she's saying things about your wife and all this crazy shit, when really, bitch, you need to be focused on your kids and fixing that relationship. So I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life, Julia? And I'm wondering what adoption agency allowed a 67-year-old woman to adopt a fucking 2- and 4-year-old. She will be 88 when they're 20. Stephanie was smart asking that question. And Masood was funny as hell fanning over Martina. DM Rock said, I saw the preview for the next episode. Stephanie calling out Julia, then Stephanie and Larsa calling out Marisol for being Alexia's hype man. Thank you. I've been waiting for this to like switch. Like, I have genuinely been waiting for a flip, because I am when I tell y'all freaking Marisol and Alexia make my teeth itch in real time. They just do. They irk my soul. I don't care for them. They're necessary, to kind of give the show, you know, some fluidity, but I don't care for them. I just don't. I don't. But Stephanie explains also at the dinner that she feels that everybody welcomed her but Alexia, but she's still willing to talk to Alexia, which is weird. So we get to the stupid party that Marisol has. Why is Marisol on this show? Why is Marisol here? Like, why is she here? I just don't get it. Never cared for her. To me, she's not that interesting. I just don't care. And she, to me, seems messy on the low and judgy. But Marisol has a party that to me is dumb. It's a preppy party. I guess the goal is to look like you're preppy. And Marisol wants us to know that she was in prep school. Her mother was Cuban. Her father was from Connecticut. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. So because your daddy's from Connecticut, you have to have a preppy party. And then her dumbass doesn't even realize I had to go to prep school in West Palm Beach or Palm Beach, wherever the fuck she said. And I'm just like, so how is this an ode to your dad if he was from Connecticut and you went to school? I was trying to understand it, but I think Marisol just needed to have an event. And I honestly don't think she could afford to do an event elsewhere. So she did it at her house because it's nice. That's fine. That's all I got. DM Rock says, in my opinion, Alexia seems nicer if Marisol is not there. I agree. I think that honestly about both of them, but more so Alexia, because Alexia seems agreeable. We know that Alexia be perpetrating. She told us she was perpetrating for the camera and for Todd and all of that on here. So I feel like Alexia is actually down to earth, and there's a reason why she has so many people around her to support her, but you can't see it when Marisol's around. I don't feel like Alexia does well in groups. I feel like she's a friend that you would only need to be with like one-on-one, going to lunch, going to a movie, going and doing something together. But when you put like add other people, she seems to get messy, which is childish, yes, but the two of them together is not a good thing. They're mean. But Marisol informs Alexia that she was told that Gertie said that she was told by Kiki that Gertie said that the ladies operate like a cult. I said, Kiki, you messy, useless ass. What are you doing, Kiki? I don't like when Black people do this to each other. Stick with each other. Stick together. Why are you further stirring the pot, Kiki, by telling people other stuff? Because your storyline, Kiki, is tired and dry. It just is. So I'm wondering why Kiki's even doing that. I don't like Kiki. Kiki's messy. She the person that act like she cool with everybody, but it's the real reason all the drama's going because she telling everybody's business and what each person said and at what time, but not giving much context. Like Kiki is messy. Gertie does come to the party, and Alexia is stank as soon as Gertie comes in. And I'm like, what is your problem, Alexia? Your husband's a whole narco criminal, your ex sitting in prison. Shut the fuck up trying to judge Gertie for anything. Stop it. I cannot with Alexia sometimes. I just can't. But they asked Gertie in the most microaggressive, insulting way, do you feel comfortable with coming to Spain with us? We know you love Spain, but do you feel comfortable? Because Kiki said you said we was a cult. And I love that Gertie was like, I did say that. Because look how y'all act. Y'all jump in the shit that don't have nothing to do with you. You work in teams to attack one person. That's cult-like. And I love that Gertie stood up for herself and calmly. And what ends up happening is Marisol and Alexia agree they're just going to stay out of it going forward, which y'all should have done in the first fucking place. So you having a stank face with Gertie in them. But Gertie ain't even come for y'all. Y'all come for her. She ain't bothered y'all. Gertie has come for nobody but Julia. So I don't understand why they do that. But I was so offended by how they even approached her with that. That shit pissed me off. I said, that shit pissed me off. When I tell you the Oakland would have came out of me real quick, that pissed me off. Tia Rock said the way Marisol said, we are not living in Gertie's world and do not tell us your problems was rude. It was. It was incredibly, to me, I took it as microaggression. I did. Because that is another state of it. Minimizing the things that someone may go through just because of your personal prejudice or bias. And that's what it gave. That's what it gave. That shit pissed me off. What do you mean? Do you want to come? Bitch, are you inviting me or not? Do you want me there? That's why sometimes I'd be like, Gertie, I get you calmer, but you got to keep your foot on these bitches' necks. You have to. Wish the hell they would. Piss me off. Hi, Kevin Reynolds. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. But yeah, y'all, Miami, I love Miami. I'm so glad somebody suggested, I think it was Kevin Reynolds months ago. Andy and Rox at different times suggested and asked if we covered Miami. I'm actually glad I do. I've had fun covering the show thus far. It's been interesting. Some of them get on my nerves, but it's been interesting. And it just feels different from the other housewives. I like it a lot. But these ladies are a mess. They somewhat make peace. Marisol and Adriana talk. And Adriana apologizes. Listen, Adriana, the only thing you needed to apologize was calling her an old whore. Everything she said about that lady's knees being bony and ashy and weak, I was hollering. Because Marisol I'm sorry, be looking like her knees is just if you put them together, they gonna make the sounds of an instrument or something. I'm sorry. That shit was funny. May not have been nice, but it was funny as hell. Thea Rock said Adriana was so funny on Watch What Happens Live with Lonnie Love when she called out Julia for not having a high school degree. Does Julia not have a high school diploma? Does she really not have one? Wait a damn minute. They got something to say about Adriana because Adriana was proud to be in Harvard. And yes, that's actually a thing. I go to school online. I am in a clinical counseling program getting my master's of science with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy and trauma. I go to a school that's in Arizona. I go online. And when you go to these types of schools, they don't just let you in. You have to keep up with a certain type of curriculum. So a lot of what Adriana was saying about Harvard is true, as well as it being true for HBCUs. Like Howard, they have a great master's program online for people. So I was like, okay, Adriana, let them know. They can say what they want about her, but she's smart. That's what my dad always said. People could take a lot from you, but they can't take your knowledge or your intelligence. The girl is smart. She's warming up to me though. Last season she got on my nerves, but I'm okay with her right now, Adriana. I'm okay with her. But basically, Marisol asked Adriana to lay off of her because there's bigger problems in the group. Marisol is manipulative. Either you're going to accept the apology or not, but it seems like she was not accepting it, but then got to a point where she's like, okay, well, just lay off of me. But Marisol, you kind of put yourself in that situation because why were you against being in the same car as her? And who told her about that? Whoever even informed Adriana of that, I think it was Kiki. It's just messy. Messy as hell. Why would you do that? I don't understand it. Right. Adriana is really smart, DM Rock says, and can speak 5 different languages. To be able to speak English and any other language is hard because English is one of the hardest languages in the world. One of them. But Adriana speaks 5 different languages that are also not the easiest languages. So she's extremely intelligent. Anybody bilingual, whether you just speak one other language, anybody bilingual is incredibly smart. What you have to tap into to be able to do that, pat yourself on the back if you bilingual. Hell, that's why I be nice to the interpreters at work. I feel like let me talk so that they can catch it. But Gertie and Julia talk. It seemed like everybody uses preppy, pretty, whatever the fuck party to talk. Gertie and Julia, basically Gertie explains that she felt betrayed by Julia, which Gertie was already betrayed after the water, but Gertie's more so after we talked that you said you would not bring our issues up anymore in the group, to then bring it up in front of the life coach in front of the group was messy, especially at a party that was meant to be shady about narcissism and crazy stuff like that. So I do understand where Gertie's coming from. I do feel like Gertie could have communicated that better prior to the text, and I would have come out the gate and just been like, here, take my phone and everybody pass it around. Everybody can read this shit. That probably would have been more effective, but Julia also had it coming. Julia tries to make it seem like the hurt was mutual, but Gertie was assaulted, and I need everybody to remember that. Regardless on how you feel about this woman, if you are somebody that has a negative view of people with brown skin, whatever. If you take the skin out of it Ain't nobody touch nobody except for Julia. Once you physically assault somebody, it's up from there. Julia's really lucky Gertie didn't take a glass and throw it in her face or push Martina so that she got to have a walker. She's lucky that Gertie did not do more. She's lucky. So it's annoying the hell out of me that Julia, every time she has the opportunity to talk with Gertie, is making it into like it's going to take steps and there was a mutual. Ain't shit mutual once shit get physical. So I don't know. Maybe it's different where Julia comes from. I know she's Russian. Maybe over there you could throw water at people and assault them and it not be nothing. I don't know, but nope, fuck that. But they do end up like somewhat making peace. I feel like Gertie keeps leaning into like, oh, our friendship was so great and wants to make it better. But I feel like Julia just wants to be relevant on this show. I don't feel like she wants to truly make it better. I don't feel like Julia's all of that, honestly. Like, I just don't. Like, if we subtract Martina from her, I just can't see her doing much. I can't. But those two somewhat make temporary peace. We know the shit won't last. But they're planning their trip to Spain. And they're going to Seville, I believe, and Marbella. They're going to do 2 cities in Spain. And Stephanie has her private jet. And everybody is going to be flying in Stephanie's private jet from Seville, Spain to Marbella, Spain, to avoid having to drive for like 2 hours or something. So they're going to fly. Stephanie's flying everybody, which I thought was nice of her. But to go to Spain, Stephanie's going to be in her private jet. But to go there, she can only have, I believe, 3 people with her on the jet. She's going to have Julia. She invited Marisol, and she was going to invite Alexia because the trip was surrounded around her and all of that. But Marisol gave up her seat. Alexia doesn't want to go because the seat was given up for her. I don't understand why Alexia didn't say, can Marisol just come with me? It was like Alexia just did not want to be on the jet with Stephanie, which I don't blame her. I think Stephanie's intelligent. I do not think that of Alexia. So I feel like after so long, the conversations would get crazy and then they would probably drive each other crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I feel. But I don't know. Stephanie says that Alexia likes to belittle people and should have never made the comment about Stephanie being a Chihuahua and her being a Rottweiler, which I agreed with Stephanie when Alexia and her talked about that, because it was like, Alexia, you knew you was throwing shade saying some shit like that. You gonna call somebody a dog? You call me a dog, boom. That's my license to go and be the true bitch that I can. I'm gonna play with you. Like, I don't like how Alexia moves. She be trying to act like she's a victim. Sounds kind of similar to a narcissist, Alexia. Whoa. Cannot. Just cannot. But basically, Alexia and Marisol are going to fly on the plane together. And Alexia tells everybody in the group she has one more space in the plane when she could have just not had anybody there. And Adriana ends up chosen. But Adriana was like, it's interesting that Marisol was like, I'm not going to fly on a PJ without my bestie. And I'm willing to get off of the PJ if my bestie don't want to go with you. But Adriana says her bestie, Julia, did not give a damn or give a flying fuck to include her or even suggest her name. And Adriana has been saying this honestly since episode 1. Adriana has been tired as hell of how Julia's treating and acting people. It shows that Julia is a pick-me and will treat her friends crazy just to be a part of the Cool Girls Club to keep her job on this show. And it was just a mess. It was just a mess. So Alexia cries at the end of this episode. She cries because she's so touched by Marisol. Why are you in tears that your friend gave up a private jet for you? Why are you in tears? I don't understand this friendship. That's weird. Like, thanks, bitch. Make sure we get some good snacks in the airport. Share my neck pillow. But I'm not gonna cry. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm mean though. My friends do tell me I'm very like, I'm nice, but it take a lot to move me like that to tears. Like, no, absolutely not. DM Rock says, I feel like next season is going to be divided because you have Gertie, Lisa, and Adriana on one side, and then Julia, Alexia, and Marisol on the other side. Larsa and Stephanie in the middle. Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think Kiki's on the Alexia and them side too. I think Kiki and Julia are similar in that they're pick-me's and they just want to go where they can be relevant. I truly believe that. But at least they're giving us entertainment. So I appreciate that. Maybe let shows like this thrive and start killing off Housewives of Atlanta, because the fact that Kim Zolciak's coming back as a friend of and Sheree might get a peach. I am so glad James is going to be covering that show. Fun fact, I was going to originally cover the Housewives of Atlanta on my channel, but I gave it to James because I feel like he is more passionate about that show. I just enjoy watching it. Didn't care to take notes, but I'm glad that the headache that will be. I'm going to keep him in my prayers. But that's all that happened, you guys, for this episode of the Housewives of Miami. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. DM Rocks, Kevin Reynolds. I appreciate everybody. I will be back for another live sometime in the middle of the week. I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, I will be back for another live. As long as I don't have a final, my professor be liking to pop stuff up. But I should be back. Kevin Riddle said she does not have a high school diploma. Oh, it shows. That explains so much. That explains so much. I'm tired of Carly Red being an option. Carly Red needs to go seek residential psychiatric treatment to fix her decisions in men. She just she get on my nerves. She get on my nerves. But I'll be back for another live, you guys. I am going to be adding some shows to my lineup because Basketball Wives went away on August the 22nd, which is also my wedding anniversary. Hey, shout out to the husband. We will be going over the new show that premieres, Deb's House, the R&B version. And there's another show that we'll be covering on James's channel together. It's called, I believe, Heart and Hustle and something, Heart and Hustle, or something like that. It's on WeTV. Again, keep your notifications on for James's channel because he will be going live here and there. Oh yeah, Potomac is back. I know Salt Lake City's on the way back. A lot of shows are going to be coming back because we're getting already close to the holiday season. This year flew by so fast. But we have a lot of shows. If you guys think of something you want me to cover, let me know. I'm totally open to it. But I love all of y'all. I hope y'all all enjoy your Sunday or whatever day it is when you're watching this. And I will see y'all next time. Adios, beautiful people. Thank you.